Mark Consuelos and Kelly Ripa, hosts of Live with Kelly and Mark, often resolve their marital disputes on air. Mark was shocked to learn that Kelly wasn't satisfied with him after a demanding weekend co-hosting a seductive charity. She revealed on the television that she was furious over her husband's decisions. Mark Consuelos and Kelly Ripa discuss his charity trip. Taking everything into account, Kelly Ripa is proud to be carrying such a gorgeous husband. She does, however, occasionally wish to take him down a notch. On Live with Kelly and Mark's September 23rd show, Mark Consuelos talked about how he had traveled to Maine to assist his friend Patrick Dempsey with a project that was very important to him. Kelly had remained at home while they discussed his regular trips to Maine and Italy. They went on to talk about Mark's lovely gesture of joining Patrick's charming charity. Even the narrow-minded Sexiest Man Alive issue published by People magazine was a topic Kelly brought up. Accordingly, she thinks it leaves out a lot of deceased individuals who are quite attractive. But she was harboring resentment over something that had occurred over the weekend. Mark Consuelos is vying for a more seductive role. Kelly Ripa also congratulates her attractive husband on being named the sexiest daytime talk show host alive in the past. He is currently vying for the title of Sexiest TV Host Alive. Mark Consuelos is in a cheerful mood, next to Mario Lopez, Jimmy Fallon, and Seth Meyers. However, in order to level the playing field, Jimmy Fallon pleaded with Mark to withdraw from the tournament. He thought about leaving, but decided to remain on the ballot so he could relish the challenge of adding another sultry novel to his library. As they talked, producer Michael Gelman was casting his vote, which made Kelly wonder if they were performing well enough on the show. She suggests that the audience and production might need to improve their presentation if they are distracted throughout the performance. But she knows better because of her years of expertise. However, Kelly recalled how enraged she was with Mark following his return from assisting his friend Patrick Dempsey as he provided an update on sports. Kelly Ripa is aware that Mark Consuelos places a high value on sports. Kelly Ripa was reminded of the reasons behind her annoyance with her attractive husband, Mark Consuelos, as Live proceeded to provide sports updates. Things grew heated when Kelly was itching to spend time with her lover after he returned from his sexual fundraiser with McDreamy. She was eager to see Mark after his trips, even though she strongly supported his collaboration with the McDreamy team. She does, however, describe how things didn't work out as expected. Kelly claims that she had intended to take a stroll in Central Park on this lovely day. She offered to accompany Mark, who seemed excited to see him, and he answered, "Yeah, what time? Right away." Kelly stepped back when he realized she was competing with his favorite sports games. Kelly Ripa becomes enraged after his sexy charity trip. "All right," she said, knowing he would want to watch the game. "When would you like to take a stroll?" Before the weather deteriorated, Mark Consuelos stated that he wanted to leave early. "Don't you have a game you want to watch?" asked Kelly skeptically. However, Mark Consuelos assured her that he would instead videotape it. Instead of listening to podcasts as usual, she decided to leave her headphones at home because she wanted to spend more time with her husband. She had no idea that he wasn't as interested in discussion as she had hoped. He informs her up front that he only intends to stroll with her for 25 minutes before turning around to return for the game. Then he thought she would go on without him and enjoy her stroll. That was not the case, though. She claims, "I become angry right away. They put me in a march, as if I'm taking my time. I might have been running." An intolerable stroll. Kelly Ripa is speedwalking at her best after her anger is stoked. Mark Consuelos, however, asks her to slow down. Since she didn't feel sorry for him at the time, she assumed it was because he had a sore toe. But Mark said that her rapid pace was giving him cramps. "No," says Kelly cynically, "I want to get you home before the game." However, by giving the impression that she was on the clock, Mark completely altered the enjoyable and relatable walk's atmosphere. She was now in a hurry to get him back, so she could watch the game he promised to record. By stating that there was no rush, he attempted to diffuse the tension. However, she remembers that Mark would pause, connect headphones, and check whatever gadget he came across to see if there were any game updates. She acknowledges that the walk was difficult. I was eager for it to be over. They had to agree to disagree and move on with the presentation, so they simply changed the subject at that point. What are your thoughts on Kelly Ripa's walk experience? You would be upset. Have you encountered something comparable? Do you like seeing Kelly and Mark Consuelos work through their marital problems on Live with Mark and Kelly? Mark Consuelos has always been known for his charm, smoldering good looks, and adventurous streak. But his latest endeavor, a glamorous charity trip that turned heads for reasons far beyond philanthropy, may have just landed him in hot water at home. While the trip was meant to raise awareness and funds for a worthy cause, it spiraled into a media frenzy filled with suggestive photo ops, shirtless moments, and whispers of flirtation that didn't sit well with his wife and co-host Kelly Ripa. The story begins with an invitation Mark received to attend a high-profile charity event in the Caribbean. The foundation, dedicated to ocean conservation, needed celebrity star power to bring attention to their efforts. Mark, who has always been passionate about the environment and keen on combining work with a touch of adventure, jumped at the opportunity. The trip promised scenic yacht cruises, beach cleanup projects, and gala dinners under the stars. But what wasn't outlined in the itinerary? The PR team's strategy to capitalize on Mark's undeniable sex appeal. From the moment he stepped off the boat in his fitted white linen shirt and aviators, cameras flashed like it was a Hollywood red carpet. The charity's social media accounts wasted no time in posting steamy images. Mark, shirtless, carrying bags of plastic debris from the ocean. Mark, drenched in seawater, helping marine biologists release rehabilitated turtles. Mark, laughing with swimsuit-clad volunteers on a sun-drenched beach. Within hours, hashtags like #SexySavior and Mark the Marine Hero were trending. Fans swooned. Women commented heart emojis by the thousands. Even a few celebrity friends couldn't resist reposting the images with cheeky captions. But back in New York, Kelly Ripa wasn't exactly charmed. According to sources close to the couple, Kelly watched the posts roll in while preparing for Live with Kelly and Mark. Though she's always supported her husband's philanthropic work, the overtly sexy spin on the event rubbed her the wrong way. Kelly knows Mark is attractive, and she's proud of him, an insider explained. But she felt the charity trip crossed a line. It stopped being about the cause and became about objectifying him. And when the media started calling him the Baywatch philanthropist, Kelly was livid. The tension reportedly boiled over when Kelly saw a clip of Mark during a live-streamed panel. Sitting on a stage in a casual, unbuttoned shirt, he was joined by glamorous international models who had also been invited as ambassadors. When one of them playfully splashed water on him during a demonstration, Mark laughed it off, but Kelly, watching from afar, wasn't amused. By the time he returned home, Kelly's rage had reached a simmering point. On air, she hinted at her frustration in her trademark humorous but cutting style. During the morning chat, she referenced his trip with an arched eyebrow. "Well, some of us were here working while others were busy being the poster boy for wet and wild philanthropy," she quipped, sending the audience into laughter but leaving Mark looking a little sheepish. Insiders say that behind the scenes, Kelly confronted him about the optics of the trip. She reminded him that they're a team and that sometimes the line between sexy and scandalous is thinner than he realizes, one source shared. The exchange has sparked a frenzy among fans of the couple, who are used to seeing Kelly and Mark's marriage as rock solid despite its playful spats. Social media is buzzing with divided opinions. Some argue Kelly is overreacting, insisting Mark was simply doing his job and supporting a good cause. Others side with Kelly, saying the event organizers used Mark's looks to overshadow the charity's mission, and that his participation played right into it. One fan on X, formerly Twitter, wrote, "Love Mark, but the trip did look like a Sports Illustrated shoot. I'd be annoyed too if I were Kelly." Another defended him. "Come on, Kelly. He was saving turtles, not auditioning for Magic Mike 4. Let the man live." Meanwhile, the charity itself is thrilled with the attention. Donations spiked significantly after Mark's photos went viral. Organizers issued a statement thanking him for bringing visibility to a critical environmental cause in the most unforgettable way. Still, it hasn't been all smooth sailing for the Consuelos household. Friends say Kelly has been teasing Mark relentlessly, but her jokes carry an edge. At one dinner with friends, she allegedly rolled her eyes when someone complimented Mark's charity photos. "Oh, yes, our household's very own Aquaman," she said dryly, before changing the subject. Yet those close to the couple also know that Kelly and Mark thrive on playful tension. "This isn't going to break them," a longtime friend revealed. "Kelly's fiery and Mark's a flirt. It's their dynamic. She'll give him a hard time, but deep down, she loves that everyone still finds him attractive. She just doesn't want it to overshadow her or their partnership." What's next for the couple? Insiders predict Kelly may reclaim the spotlight in her own way. Rumors are swirling that she's planning a bold feature in a wellness magazine, showing off her enviable physique and reminding the world that she's every bit as much of a head-turner as her husband. If true, the move would perfectly embody the Ripa Consuelos brand. Playful competition, affectionate rivalry, and an unshakable bond. For now, though, Kelly continues to jab Mark on Live, where audiences eat up every quip. Just yesterday, when a segment showed footage of a beach cleanup, Kelly smirked at Mark and said, "Do you need me to grab the garden hose, or are you waiting for another supermodel to splash you?" The crowd roared, and even Mark couldn't help but laugh at himself. Ultimately, Mark's sexy charity trip may have sparked Kelly's rage, but it also reignited the couple's unique spark, the blend of humor, honesty, and heat that keeps fans tuning in day after day. And if the charity benefited along the way, perhaps that's the silver lining in this stormy marital saga. After all, for Kelly and Mark, drama isn't a threat to their marriage, it's part of the performance, and their audience wouldn't want it any other way.